President Biden didn't waste any time in his final State of the Union address. He touted his administration's accomplishments while taking some jabs at 2024 rival, former President Donald Trump, although not by name.
Yeah, the address came less than 8 months before November's general election. KCAL News reporter Willie James Inman is joining us now from Washington, D.C. with more on how the night unfolded. Good morning, Willie.
Hey there, good morning to you, Rita Bay and Sheba. That's right, President Biden giving his final State of the Union address for his first term in office. And during that address, he sought to lay out not only his accomplishments or the accomplishments that the White House sees in terms of his first term, but a path forward for the nation as we head to what could be a contentious election cycle.
Mr. Speaker, the President of the United States.
President Biden came out swinging in an election year State of the Union address, hitting many of the key issues on voters' minds, like his age.
The issue facing our nation isn't how old we are, it's how old are our ideas.
Reproductive rights.
I'll restore Roe v. Wade as the law of the land again.
The economy and immigration, demanding Congress pass a bipartisan border security bill.
We need to act now.
The president also took on his likely 2024 GOP rival, former President Donald Trump, referring to him as my predecessor 13 times.
What's happened now is a horror show.
Trump slammed the address on social media, calling it, quote, an angry, polarizing, and hate-filled speech. On foreign policy, Biden vowed to stand up to Russian President Vladimir Putin. As pro-Palestinian protesters stood outside the Capitol, inside, the president announced plans to build a temporary port to get more humanitarian aid into Gaza. And he pledged to bring Israeli hostages taken by Hamas home.
And the president will test out his message on the campaign trail today in Philadelphia, and tomorrow he's expected to travel to Georgia. And the Biden campaign is perhaps celebrating his speech last night. A Biden campaign official confirming to CBS News that the hours around President Biden's speech were the most lucrative for the campaign since launch from April of last year. Ruta Bay, Shiva, back to you.
All right, Willie James, thank you so much for joining us. During the address, a man was thrown out of the House galley for interrupting President Biden's speech.
We've learned that the heckler is the father of a SoCal Marine who was killed in Afghanistan. Our Chris Holmstrom joins us with details. Chris.
Yeah, so right here, this man is Lance Corporal Kareem Nakui, pictured right behind me, of Norco. He died in 2021 in a terrorist attack at an airport in Kabul, along with 12 other U.S. service members and 170 civilians. Well, last night, his father interrupted President Biden during his speech. Here's a little of what happened.
The year before I took office, murder rates went up 30%. 30% they went up. The biggest increase in history.
Yeah, a lot of people wondering what was going on during the State of the Union. Well, 51-year-old Stephen Nakui was heard yelling, U.S. Marines and remember Abbeygate. That is the site of the deadly bombing during the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. Capitol Police then escorted him out of the chamber. Nakui attended the State of the Union as a guest of Florida Republican Congressman Brian Mast. Now, after his outburst, Mast tweeted his support of the Gold Star father. He wrote, quote, Joe Biden has never honored those killed at the Abbeygate and still hails the catastrophic withdrawal as a success. While Nakui was arrested for crowding and obstructing, the misdemeanor charge is typically resolved with a $50 fine. But definitely a big night last night at the State of the Union.
Yeah, I definitely heard that disruption, but I had no idea what it was all about or what was actually said.
Yeah.
So.
Sure.
Obviously a father who's still in a lot of pain after losing his son, and rightfully so.
All right, so thanks for letting us know about that, Chris.
CBS News Los Angeles, your local news, streaming wherever, whenever.